Hello, my name is Mhanji Musinga and I'm the founder of the Fliptown movement, a movement that is purely founded on love and by youth in the neighborhood, in their locality, to empower local ingenuity, to promote exchange of information and make sure the young people in the community have a purpose, a true importance in life and a true contribution to their community. We started out in Mubende town in 2016 and our goal has been to empower as many young people as possible, to give them a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose in their communities, so that they can actually go out every single day and do something in their community. Today I'm here to talk about the breakout of the EVD virus in Uganda, in Mubende, which is my hometown. Apparently, the EVD virus broke out. It was first announced in my town on September 20th by the Ministry of Health. And on 15th October, the President of the nation, His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, gave directives to have a lockdown on the district, Mubende district and Chegega district. Yeah, in the original news of the breakout, this was announced in over 5 districts. They talked about Mubende district, Chegegwa district, Buyanga district, Kagadi, Kampala and Wakiso. So in our town, we had mega proposals for our organization Fliptown and for the youth in our town, and we were about to set off for what we call the real life experience, town to town, where we planned to move around the nation, empowering young people and understanding them more, understanding the culture of the people in the town, and tailoring all we had learned in one town, a typical African town, to make sure we can share our knowledge and skills and expertise with all the young people out there so that they can make impact in their towns, bringing all the challenges they have and bringing to them the solutions. So the breakout of the EVD virus on our hometown, which is Mubende, where we come from, actually found us when we were planning to exit our town, but we had not finished programming a software which is called our Fliptown V2 web platform. This is an intelligent software that we have designed for the past period of time to make sure this brings out the exact picture of our community, the growth and development, the people and the culture, and this is supposed to empower our community. So we were planning to launch and had finished everything about the proposals, and then that is when a directive was passed on our town that it is on lockdown because of the breakout of the EVD virus. So I wanted to give you information about the EVD virus, but also to let you know that on the day of the announcement of the directive by the president, the next morning we left our town because we were not suffering from the disease. So we walked about 70 kilometers into the next town as youths and decided to deploy our hometown system there. Right now we are in Chegegwa. We have been welcomed by the youths, and in a very short time we have spent here roughly 8 days. We have been to all the media houses, we have been to all the youths that are doing impact in their town. We have toured the town and seen their ecosystems and all the biodiversity, and we are sitting down to make sure we write a report and invite all the people that we have met in this town so that we can share with them our findings and how they can actually utilize all the things that they might not even be seeing or noticing right now, all the things that have become normal in their town, to make sure their businesses are booming and their livelihoods are good. Yeah, so Ebola is a very, 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 very severe disease, but it's extremely rare. It's extremely rare, but it is very severe. I think Ebola was first noted in people in 1976 in Congo, and at the same time it was also appearing in a village in South Africa. And then the river where this disease had come out from, it was called Ebola. So the disease got a name called Ebola, but there are very many strands of the virus. There is the Ebola virus, from Zaire, the Ebola virus from South Sudan, and right now the breakout in our town is the Ebola virus from South Sudan. And this actually has, we don't have any vaccine around the world that has been approved and tested against the South Sudan Ebola virus. So this is a very, very, very dangerous one in our community. And we definitely want the people to understand more about the virus and how important the social aspect of the people is to make sure our people are safe. So I want to talk about the outbreak control. Some of the measures are already seen in our town, where we have a whole lockdown on the town and everything. Even when the news that is coming back from our community says the police is torturing the people, and we have lots of mistreatments and every other thing that is arising from the lockdown and everything. But now we want to give you the real outbreak control measures that we would expect out there in our community or anywhere around the nation where we would have an outbreak of such a dangerous virus. So we have case management, we have surveillance, contact tracing, and good laboratory services, safe and dignified barriers, social mobilization, and early supportive care with hydration. These are very, very important. Actually, early supportive care with hydration is one of the key things that can actually support a patient and help them out of this kind of infection. So these kind of measures have all been done. They have been applied in Guinea, and over 300 and 600 cases in Guinea have actually been immunized and safe. They have been tested, and all these things have been deployed in the nation. It is unfortunate that in our hometown we did not hear anything like the government is going to do massive testing for people with Ebola or something. The only thing we had as a response was the lockdown of the district, and the lockdown of the district did not get so accompanied by massive testing and vaccination and everything. So we want to let all the people out there know that Ebola can be fought and it can be defeated. So we want to ask all our people to be very alert, especially when it comes to what kind of contact people make and the kind of things they do in their community, because this is about us as the people of the world, you know. So Ebola is transmitted from fruit bats. Fruit bats have it as they are natural hosts of the virus, the fruit bats, and then it can be obtained from wild animals infecting human beings, and also human beings infecting human beings. So we have to give dignified barriers and use kind of protective gear every time we are handling all these dead bodies of animals, all these dead bodies of people. We must give them a dignified barrier that is really safe, so that we can control the spread of the virus in our area and something. So the biggest symptoms of the Ebola virus are a fever, you have fatigue, you have muscle pain, you have headaches, and you have a sore throat, and then they'll be followed by vomiting. Now this is when it intensifies. You'll have vomiting, you'll have a rash, you'll have elevated liver enzymes, you'll have internal and external bleeding. Yeah. There has been an international response to the breakout in our town. I actually learned from a report that the World Health Organization put out there, and the European Union has actually already responded by over 2,000 euros. That is quite a good kind of response that could help all the people in my hometown, all the families and all the people that are getting affected. So there is one more very important thing about EVD, and I just want to tell you about the confirmation that the symptoms are actually caused by Ebola, because you might have all these symptoms just when you are pregnant or when you have malaria or something. So there are tests that actually confirm that you have the EVD, and these were supposed to be, we are supposed to tell the people about this. The government was supposed to be very loud about all these tests and able to deploy them, because we believe we are one country, Uganda. So if there is a breakout in one district, we say maybe people have relatives in other districts and everything. if massive testing is done, people can be evacuated from one town to another in case there is a very, very terrible outbreak. Even if it's not Ebola or something, I don't believe it's really cool locking up a district inside of a nation, but that's okay. So we have the antibody capture enzyme linked immunosorbent assay. Then we have serum neutralization. We have a serum neutralization test. We have virus isolation by cell culture. There is electron microscopy. There is reverse transcriptase chain reaction, and that is those are confirmations that can be done if someone is tested with these kinds of methods. Yeah, so the World Health Organization recommends automated or semi-automated nucleic acid tests, and then that is for routine diagnostic management, and then it also recommends the rapid antigen detection tests in remote areas. I believe that is talking about my hometown, like Mubende. So we should have had a lot of rapid antigen detection tests deployed all over the district, and people being told about their status and if they can evacuate the town and live for that, or something like that, maybe some kind of control. So Ebola also has treatment. Yeah, apart from supportive care where you have to go to do a lot of rehydration with oral or intravenous fluids, that improves survival. But there is also a vaccine, especially for the Zaire virus. There was a vaccine that actually has healed over 35,000. It's actually 350,000 people in Guinea. So there is hope that the world is working very hard. The Ministry of Health, the CDC, and all the world organizations that are working on virus breakouts and everything, they must be doing a lot to make sure there is a virus against Ebola in the very, very, very near term. So there is also two monoclonal antibodies, the Imazeb and Ibaga. Those are approved for treatment of the Zaire Ebola virus in late 2020. I talk about the Zaire Ebola virus so that you can know there is a virus or under the same class that actually has a vaccine. So you shouldn't lose hope. This is all going to end. And actually the government of Uganda predicts that there will be no Ebola in Uganda by the end of 2022. So by the end of this December, we expect the government to fulfill that, and we shall not have our people dying because of Ebola. So let me talk about prevention and control. Community engagement is key to successful control of any outbreak out there. We must make sure there is community engagement, a raising of awareness of risk factors and protective measures, including vaccination. Yeah, so this is an effective way of reducing the human to human transmission. Yeah, reducing the risk of wildlife to human transmission. That can be done by banning and making sure every time we have to handle dead bodies of wild animals and everything, we are using protective gear. So there is outbreak containment. The outbreak containment measures, and these are actually found at, for example, health facilities in Mubende right now, where we have the departments that have now been dedicated to fighting the Ebola virus. And then we have the reducing the risk of sexual transmission, possible sexual transmissions. Yeah, maybe the lockdown in our district brought about a closure of lodges, a closure of nightclubs, a closure of all these leisure clubs and entertainment clubs, which I think to a very high degree promote a lot of sexual activity. And that is a tick for the government by preventing all these possible sexual transmissions. That is a very good thing. So reducing the risk of transmission from pregnancy-related fluids and tissue. Yeah, I want to tell you that pregnant women there is a possibility for pregnant women giving Ebola to their children, infecting their children with Ebola. So that has to be handled with care. I want to tell you also about men. Even if you have had Ebola and now you are healed, there must be a test done to you about after 3 months to confirm that there is no Ebola that is persisting in your semen. So the control, it goes on, it's progressive, and we have to make sure our community is aware about all this to make sure that the virus is kicked out of our nation directly. And once and for all, so we don't have any disturbances in our nation. Our people are back to normal because, for example, our people in Mubende, in Kasanda, Chegegwa, they have been fighting to recover from the lockdown in 2020 that was caused by the COVID-19 breakout that saw the world economies close and everything. 2 years down the road, now there is a breakout of another virus, and then there is a lockdown in the entire community. That means our people's economy it's actually being affected terribly. We have to give them time to recover, and we have to say sorry to all those that have been infected by the viruses, to all those that have lost a member of their family, to all those that have lost a friend, to all those that have had their businesses closed. We are looking forward to working together with you and keeping all the information coming into your communities. So we want to make sure you stay informed, have all the information, and then hopeful that everything is going to come back to normal. You're going to be well in a very short time. Thank you so much. We are Fliptown. We are from Mubende town, and we are on a tour around the whole nation, making sure we intensify the usage of technology. We empower the youth and let them find all opportunities that they can locally. Thank you so much.